Good morning. Savadi krap, everyone. My name is Christian Heinzel. I'm the regional manager of the United Nations Volunteers Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific. And it's a real pleasure to be here with you today at the second PSU International Volunteer Forum. First of all, I would like to thank the host of today's forum, the Prince of Songkhla University's Volunteer Center, the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security, Voluntary Services Overseas, and the Kennan Foundation Asia. This forum is a fantastic opportunity to share experiences and to learn from one another and to strengthen our joint commitment to volunteerism. Thank you for also inviting United Nations volunteers. Today I want to talk about something that lies at the very core of our mission at UNV, the power of volunteers to connect people, communities, and nations to the Sustainable Development Goals. Volunteers of all ages contribute immensely to this effort, and youth in particular brings energy and fresh perspectives that drive diverse solutions all over the globe. The United Nations Volunteers Program plays a modest yet vital role in this global effort. We started small in 1971 when UNV mobilized 35 volunteers who at that time served in 3 countries, while today more than 12,300 global citizens are each year engaged as UN volunteers with UN agencies, funds, programs and missions. And in Asia Pacific this year will go beyond 2,000 UN volunteers serving in 36 countries. UNV's role is to help to amplify the power of volunteerism within the UN system. UN volunteers, driven by a shared commitment to peace, development and humanitarian action, work effectively to address the world's most pressing challenges as part of the global and the regional UN response. The work of the United Nations is more crucial than ever as the world is facing significant challenges that it can only address collectively. The triple planetary crisis, climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution is a pressing global issue highlighted by the United Nations and also critically impacting the Asia-Pacific region. These challenges, frankly, for all of us often feel overwhelming. But still, volunteers are stepping up across the globe and in this region, and they are taking actions. They are, for example, leading reforestation projects that restore ecosystems. They are driving no plastic campaigns, demonstrating that meaningful change is not just possible, but that it is happening now. Today, more than half of the world's population is under the age of 30, and their voices are more crucial than ever. As our UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said, young people are on the front lines of the struggle to build a better future for all. He recognizes, as we all do, that youth are not just witnesses to change, but they are the driving force behind it. Within the United Nations systems, youth are playing an increasingly vital role. In 2018, the UN Youth Strategy has been launched, emphasizing the need to engage, empower, and connect young people to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. When it comes to volunteering, youth are leading the way. Over the past decade, the average age of UN volunteers has steadily shifted from 37 years in 2014 to 34 years in 2024, demonstrating a growing trend of younger people stepping up to serve. Based on data collected by United Nations volunteers, which is more than 1,200 volunteers per year, and with regards to their role for the SDGs, more than 1/3 of UN volunteers, about 36%, contribute to SDG 16. That's the SDG about peace, justice, and strong institutions, reflecting a significant role of volunteers in fragile contexts. This was followed by contributions to SDG 5, which deals with gender equality, and SDG 3, which deals with good health and well-being, at roughly 20%. These statistics highlight UN volunteers' emphasis to contribute to peace, justice, gender equality, and to reduce inequalities globally. Now, I want to share 3 observations from my own experience, how youth volunteers are making indeed a difference and leading the way forward to a better future. How do they do that? Well, first, through courage to experiment and innovation. Second, through ability to transform setbacks into opportunities. And thirdly, through inclusive and diverse leadership. To illustrate these observations and to move from a rather abstract discussion to the concrete life, let me introduce to you 3 inspiring young volunteers whose stories speak for themselves. First, Wu Uyen, a former UN volunteer who served as a communications officer with WHO in Vietnam during COVID-19, who describes herself as someone who finds excitement in challenge and who reflects on her volunteer effort with WHO at that time as a life-changing experience. Let's listen to herself in a short video that I would like to present to you.
I am a UN volunteer. I'm serving at World Health Organization Vietnam, and this has been the most meaningful time of my life. My duty station is in Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam. Even it is more than 1,000 kilometers away from my hometown in the south, I don't feel too far away. As in here, traffic, food, people, and landscape are very much authentic and amazingly Vietnamese. My role at work is a communication officer. I'm the one who is behind the camera, editing, and managing social media. One of the most exciting tasks I've been doing is, together with our great communication team, we created all communication materials for COVID-19 awareness on social media since the early response of the pandemic. I would say challenges bring up my excitements. It is when we travel long journeys to many far-flung areas of the country to meet and feature people, to bring their voices to be heard and to inspire others to be healthier. It is also a big honor when I was there at the airport filming the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccines from the COVAX facility. This was a historic moment, an epic, unforgettable honor for me. Communication material production is like making a piece of art. No matter how chaotic it is on field or how limited resources we have, once we have a good story, we are energized to make it to our best. No matter how many hours we have to spend or how urgent it is, we are on the right way to make it there. In silence. So that every night, when I lay down in bed, a post is scheduled to go. Many reactions, share, rich, can be rewards for my eyes. But it is not just this. It is about seeing the efforts of hundreds of people all over the world behind the scene, technical, frontliners, and partners, to bring a critical public health good, to promote health, keep the world safe, and serve the vulnerable. And it's part of my job to make those efforts recognized. I am a UN volunteer, and I'm proud of it.
I hope hope you liked the video. In this video, Wu Yuan demonstrates how she transformed the challenges of the crisis of the pandemic into an opportunity for impactful work with WHO for the health and well-being of many people. Using her communication and artistic and language skills, she managed to connect with a broad audience, ensuring that vital health information reached local communities. Her story is simple, but it's a powerful example of how young people can drive meaningful change through innovation and creativity. My second example is Malha Kalambe, an inspiring young volunteer environmentalist and the founder of the Beach Please organization. Malha is leading India's largest youth-led community dedicated to environmental conservation. He has spearheaded beach cleanup efforts that have removed over 8 million kilograms of trash from coastlines. But Malha's work goes beyond cleaning up the shores. It's about sparking a movement that calls on each of us to rethink our role in caring for this planet. His work reminds us that it's up to everyone who shares this earth to take steps now to protect it for today and for the future generation. Now let's hear from Malha himself and see how his journey has inspired more and more people in India to act.
Hello, Namaste. I am Malhar Kalambe from India. I'm an environmentalist and a content creator. I'm also the founder of Beach Please, India's largest youth-led community working towards environmental conservation. My journey as an environmentalist dates back to July 2017, when I visited Bali with my friends on a vacation. During my visit to Bali, I was amazed to see the pristine beaches of Bali. After returning from my trip, I once visited the Dadar beach during the Ganeshotsav. The state in which I saw the Dadar beach was really very disheartening for me. The entire beach was accumulated with plastic waste. This triggered a question in my mind. Why are the beaches abroad so clean and the beaches in Mumbai are not? When I went back home, I was having a conversation with my mother regarding the polluted beaches in Mumbai. I was basically ranting that nobody's taking up the responsibility to clean up our beaches. At the end of the conversation, my mother simply said, "If you think the beach isn't clean, just go and clean it. Stop complaining about it." This motivated me to initiate a cleanup drive. I called up a few of my school friends and shared my idea of organizing a cleanup drive at Dadar beach. Fortunately, I got a good response from them. Some 15 of my school friends turned up for the first cleanup drive. Initially, I thought that I would clean the beach once and it would stay clean forever, only to realize that with every high tide, there is more waste that washes up the beach. So what had started as a school reunion has now turned into a youth movement. Beach Please is a community by the youth and for the youth. We have been primarily focusing at the Dadar beach and Meethe River in Mumbai and the mangrove ecosystems in Navi Mumbai through weekly cleanup drives. Apart from this, we conduct sensitization programs with schools, colleges and local communities and have conducted more than 250 seminars and workshops. We have also organized more than 500 plus cleanup drives in the last 6 years. Our community has managed to clean and dispose of more than 8 million kgs of garbage in a span of 305 weeks and counting, and has also engaged more than 4 lakh citizens hailing from different backgrounds over the years. Beach Please has an active volunteer base of 1,20,000 volunteers across the nation, 90% of which are school kids and college students. We also make content around environmental conservation, sustainability, and youth participation in nation building, because good content is the best way to sensitize the youth. I founded Beach Please at the age of 19. Back then, I was pursuing chartered accountancy. Though I completed my graduation, I had to drop out of CA, so I could continue chasing my dreams of making the beaches of Mumbai waste-free. Volunteering is at the very core of being a human. So on this International Volunteer Day, I urge everyone, especially the youth, to take action and do something that brings some positive impact on the people around you. Because the world is changed by your example and not by your opinion.
Now, as my number 3, let's turn to use power for inclusive and diverse leadership. In this regard, I would like to share with you the story of Saad Alam Khan, a national UN youth volunteer with UNFPA in India, who works with his UN organization on youth-friendly, gender-sensitive and inclusive sexual and reproductive health services based on his own strong belief that real progress is only possible when everyone is included. For Saad, leaving no one behind is more than just a phrase. It's a commitment he feels deeply in his work every day. And you will be able to see in his video that he is indeed also very convincing.
Hello everyone, Namaste. My name is Saad Alam Khan. My gender pronouns are he, him, and I identify as a queer Muslim person. Currently, I'm working at United Nations Population Fund, Country Office, India, as a National Youth UNV. So I always say this, that I may have been on the planet for the past 24 years, but I only took birth 2 years ago. People from the LGBTQ community do not take birth as 0 or 1. We take birth when we are able to fully live our true self. Growing up as a young queer Muslim person, I had always been at the receiving end of discrimination, both at personal and public spaces. It was always a dream to work for social development and causes that I believe in, causes that I face and live every single day. Therefore, the dream of working at the United Nations started. People often say, there's a lot to understand, LGBTQ, so many terms. And I always say, there is one term common to humanity, common to humankind in understanding, which is respect. Let's start there. And that was my first experience when I walked into the UN house. As we say at United Nations workspace motto, leaving no one behind, it is not just a term, it's something that you feel in experience. As I said, I was hesitant in the beginning, but people around me for the first time did not even ask me why you wear what you wear. They asked me why you do what you believe in. And that was very motivating for me. When I walked into the UN, I saw people working passionately, regardless of their social, economic, regional, religious, and gender identities. And that was very motivating for me. It is undeniable that working on social issues is difficult, but a place where I can be myself fully and freely, I can give back to my best potential, such as my UN family.
So as we could see through the inspiring stories of these three remarkable young volunteers, what they all share in common is the wish to transform, the wish to drive change, and the courage to act in the face of difficulty. These examples resonate well with the core values of United Nations volunteers, as we believe in inspiration in action and in creating more diverse and inclusive platforms in the UN system, where people from all walks of life come together to contribute their skills, their passion, and their dedication towards the shared goal of achieving the SDGs. If you are a young person looking to make a difference, volunteering with local volunteer organizations or with the United Nations volunteers could be your chance to do something meaningful for the local communities or at a global scale. As a volunteer with the UN, you could find yourself in a variety of roles, reflecting the diverse needs of our world today. You could be contributing to peace building, to missions, to providing healthcare, to advocating for human rights, combating climate change, or advancing education with digital skills and supporting vulnerable communities. But volunteering is more than just filling a role. It's about finding new and concrete solutions to sustain the world we are living in. And volunteering is also not just about giving. It's also about growing and learning. It's a chance to learn new skills, to face challenges, to build your local and global networks, and to use your volunteering activities as a basis and a stepping stone for growing your own career. Over the past 3 years, from 2021 to 2023, more than 50 UN volunteers of Thai nationality have served each year with the United Nations. This year, 54 of them are supporting UN agencies in Thailand, and 8 of them are serving abroad. The number of Thai volunteers in the UN system has been growing consistently through the past years. However, there should be still more space to grow and to create more opportunities in Thailand for national volunteers as well as abroad. Governments indeed have a critical role to play to create an environment that is conducive for volunteering. The 2022 State of the World Volunteerism Report, with the theme Building Equal and Inclusive Societies, called on policymakers to consider the following actions if they want to fully unleash the power of volunteerism. 1. To leverage the expertise, the knowledge, and the experience of volunteers as a crucial resource for national development. 2. To see volunteers as bridge builders and to work alongside with them to co-create solutions that meet the need of the people. 3. To recognize both equally formal and informal volunteers' contribution to make volunteer opportunities more inclusive, to address the still existing barriers within volunteering like gender imbalance, and to ensure that also marginalized groups have equal opportunities to engage in volunteerism. Finally, also the request to invest more in volunteering data collection, research, and measurement. So as coming to the end of my speech, there is a saying that volunteering is the ultimate exercise of democracy, meaning when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community you want to live in. So I invite you to consider to become a volunteer, whether with the UN or with your local community. Every action and every effort counts. Let's create a better future together through volunteering. Let's take one step at a time, but let's take a leap together. Thank you very much.